This video contains full spoilers for A Way Out. I recommend you play the game before watching it. A Way Out's ending is genius. I think it's just so refreshing and so unique. The whole twist where Vincent turns on Leo and then the co-op turns into competitive and that's actively telling the story is so smart and so exciting, and I think Josef Fares, I'm so excited for what he makes next because he has proven he has a complex understanding of how games can and should tell their stories. But I do have a big problem with the game's ending as well, and that's that it's not as good as it could be. It's really smart. When you find out Vincent betrayed Leo, it fixes a lot of the holes in the cliche feeling of the story, and the storytelling becomes stronger. But there's this problem that the player playing Vincent had no idea Vincent was undercover. It tries to boil this animosity between the two co-op players, but you can't be mad at your friend who's playing because he had just as little idea as you did about what Vincent was doing. That got me thinking about a lot of fixes for this. How do you do this differently? And the first thing that comes to mind that I thought would be really cool is if Vincent's playthrough was secretly given information that the other player wasn't getting. And now this wouldn't work on local co-op, it'd have to be online. But basically, my idea is that at the start of Vincent's playthrough, if you choose Vincent, it'll say, you'll see information that the other player is not seeing. Do not tell them this information. You'll see this icon on the screen when you're being given secret information. Now, obviously, this could be screwed up, and a lot of people would spoil the twist and be like, hey, I'm seeing this. Are you seeing this? But I think if the game counted on the player to roleplay Vincent, and it was actively telling them he was undercover, the twist would hit that much harder, because the player playing Leo would feel actually betrayed, and there would actually be some animosity in this final competitive shootout that happens. Because as it stands, it's just like, Vincent's blindsided by it too, so why are you angry at the player? I can only imagine how incredible this moment would have been had it revealed Vincent to be a traitor, and my friend was like, oh yeah, I knew all along. And I as a player, I as a co-op partner, would feel just as blindsided and betrayed as Leo, and the player playing Vincent would feel just as conniving and secretive as Vincent does. And instead, we get something that is just kind of a standard twist that shifts the gameplay in a really interesting way, but the player-to-player relationship is not considered. However, there is an interesting way to play the game and achieve this sort of feeling, and that would be doing a second playthrough with a new player and playing as Vincent with the full knowledge of how the story is going to pan out and not telling them anything. And I think it's interesting that the almost definitive way to experience this game is as Leo to have a friend who has beaten the game before play as Vincent and betray you, and as Vincent to do a second playthrough and betray a new friend playing Leo. I don't think this was intended, and I think the first playthrough matters the most. First impressions matter the most. As it stands, it was a really interesting move they pulled at the end that could have been more considered throughout the game.